Hello everyone and welcome to my reaction to Kengan Omega Chapter 270 titled The Evolving World. Sorry for no reactions the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago I was moving that Wednesday, and then last Wednesday I was in the middle of hiking on a mountain in upstate New York. So not particularly good opportunities to do reactions. So to give my general opinion of the last 2 chapters, I thought they were pretty good. And this fight is pretty good as well. Good art, good choreography. My only wish is that Julius showed off a little more, because he's not done much other than be effectively a big punching bag, just getting styled on by Agito, which, to be fair, he does get beaten by Agito, but he hasn't really demonstrated like how strong he is, other than the fact, I suppose, that he's still standing, which is incredibly impressive. He did manage to get a bear hug on Agito, which probably should have cracked some bones, but I'm not sure it was adequately showcased how much getting bear hugged by Julius damages someone. So, you know, hopefully he lands, like, I don't know, 1 punch on Agito at some point, and we get to see him draw blood. That'd be sufficient. Other than that, I'm pretty sure he's getting taken down this week. But there's only one way to find out. And before we get into that, as always, if you haven't already, definitely be sure to like and subscribe. I'd like to try and hit at least 100 likes on this week's reaction. Now then, without any further ado, let's get right into the chapter, shall we? So let's see here. 20 pages. It's over! Dragon Vein. Oh yeah, that new technique that Agito has, Dragon Vein, which I really like the name of. What is this exactly? I like the dragon imagery behind him. Agito's new technique strikes the body's vital points like a dragon slithering through the earth. I didn't know they do that. So is this just like a super version of Gathering Clouds? Because he did use a version of that against Lu Tian. But instead of striking 3 points, this is striking... How the fuck do you hit this many different points in one combo? It's hitting like right above the ankle, hitting someone in the thigh, the groin. What's that? It's like right inside the lower ribs, right around the liver. A little higher, I think that's the solar plexus. I think that's the collarbone, and then around there they'd be hitting them in like the neck, and then right at the top of the head. So yeah, you know, that's a pretty good technique. That's pretty strong. I imagine that just kind of like ends people who aren't Julius when he hits them with it. The damage sustained was immeasurable. That's really funny, having Julius's name card right under that, so it looks like it's saying the damage Julius sustained was immeasurable. Julius Reinhold, no. Agito goes back and formless. I need to keep an eye out for that technique. It's most dangerous at the mid to point blank range. There's just one thing to do. Are you gonna bring back out the rock drills? Takes a breath. He gets into a stance. Tackling stance, a grappling stance. How many strikes has he taken so far? Has anyone ever held out against a rush from Kano Agito for this long? I imagine he endured that longer than Kuroki was getting beaten on during the Annihilation Tournament. So yeah, I think that's the longest anyone's just kind of had the shit kicked out of them by Agito before, and has just continued fighting. Kano's breathing is unstable. It looks like the fatigue is getting him. He is beating Julius so hard that he's getting tired. Will his exhaustion be the key to Julius turning the tables? It's not gonna happen. Fight! Well, let's see here. Agito rushes in towards Julius. Julius isn't moving. What's he waiting for? Oh, Agito's getting all formless again. I imagine Julius is gonna try to grab him again. Julius goes for a tackle. He dodged. Ooh. Agito hits him with an uppercut. I don't think that's a dragon shot, because he's not in like the right posture, but it could be a dragon shot, because like Julius is right over him, he'd be hitting him as a counter with it. I think... Is that hitting his side or the middle of his fucking ribs? Oh, no, yep, that is a dragon shot. Yep, he hit him right center mass. I think, like, right under his ribs. Jesus. Oh, but he grabs Agito. I have you now, Kano! He's gonna... Toter Steinbohrer. So he's gonna try to hit him with the rock drill at point blank. Ooh. But Julius just twists it. He redirects him, he trips him up a little bit. And he hits him with a fucking high kick to the face as a counter. That was flawless. He knocked Julius off balance with flawless timing. Kano outsmarted him. I mean, Julius isn't dumb, but it's not like the hardest thing in the world to outsmart Julius. That's how he got beaten before. But it looks like Julius is trying to break out of the grab. Is he gonna... Wait, actually, is he gonna try to throw? Because it looks like he takes a step forward, he takes a step down, and he's moving the arm that's holding on to Agito. Is he gonna try to throw Agito into the ground? Looks like he's still holding on. He's shaking off Kano's wrist lock. Are you shaking... You're shaking off the wrist lock with nothing but the force of your muscle control? That's fucking insane. That's ridiculous. Looks like Agito shifts out of a wrist lock, I think into an arm lock. Dragon Rising. Oh my god. Hits him with a knee to the jaw. Oh my god. And he drops with a thud. What? 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 We have a winner, of course. What a finisher that was. Talk about an intense fight. And Kano Agito's come out on top with relatively low difficulty. I'd say that looked like a mid-diff fight. That sounds about right. That sounds about right. Agito, you know, he's a little unkempt. His jumpsuit is a little torn up, but for the most part, I don't really see any bruises on him. He may have some internal damage from that bear hug, but you know, for the most part, he's golden. That was pretty decent. I would say that was the best fight out of the three thus far. It just had the best choreography, the best art. It was quite good. I liked it. That exchange was almost frightening. Frightening? How? After that charge, that first grab was a bluff. Julius's real goal was to get Kano to come in close. You mean he took the dragon shot on purpose? Yeah. Julius did that to lure him in. Also that he could catch him the moment he stopped moving. He had to have shifted the point of impact to avoid a vital blow. But even so, I can't believe he'd willingly take a strike from Kano. It sure gives you the chills. That's a self-sacrificial strategy, alright. Well, Julius ain't the martyr of muscles for nothing. If that wrist lock had come a split second later, the outcome may have been different. In all honesty, this match came down to a razor-thin margin, unlike the visible damage would suggest. Agito did... It is true. If Agito slipped up even briefly, it would have been very fucking bad for him. He was basically wrestling a rampaging elephant. So if he had slipped up at like any point, you know, you saw it with the bear hug there. That was close to being a fatal error. But it's Agito. He can fucking handle anything. Which is why he's gonna win the tournament. But yeah, when that's put into perspective, when you consider that he was basically doing this fight on a knife's edge, it's more satisfying. But, you know, this goes to show about what I expected, and what I think a lot of people expected of what happens when Julius fights the actual master-level combatants, like the masters of martial arts, with brute force. They kind of shit on him a little. He's still a difficult opponent. He can take such a fucking beating. And if you slip up at any point, you're done. You're finished. But the masters don't make those mistakes for the most part. So, you know, if you had Oma, if you had Kuroki, if you had probably Jirota or Lalong involved in this same fight, I imagine it would go pretty similarly. Giroda would probably have the roughest time out of all of them. Actually, I don't know. It would depend on how much force Julius gets thrown with the swing. The less high-impact moves you have, probably the worse you do, but even then I think like very precise strikes would work on him. So honestly, I think all of the like master level characters, they can beat Julius. So yeah, that's about what I think the people expected. But this is one thick razor. Came down to a razor-thin margin, but that's a thick razor. Calling Agito thick, you know what the fuck you're doing, Sandra. Kano Agito advances to the semifinals, as he always should. Yeah, it's a razor thin, but he's a fucking thick ass razor. He's got a lot of blade to work with there, so you know that sounds about right. Once a ripple starts, it can't be stopped. So who else is going to be leveling up because of this? The handful of fighters watching this match have seen what's beyond the dead end, too. And the ripple will spread on from there. The pebble the connector threw in the water will change the world. Best wishes, my brethren. For today marks the anniversary of mankind's evolution. So what, is just Shen's presence supposed to inspire everyone to get stronger? Is that how that's supposed to work? Oh, Ramon. Preying on the dark horse here. This cool looking guy. Sitting in his room waiting. The door slides open. He's got some aura around him. He's got aura gathering. Can I help you? Yes. Just one thing. Would you be so kind as to let me kill you? Sakigake, get the fuck out of here. Get out. Get out. I don't want you here. I don't want you killing this guy. And you got beaten by Justin. Unless you were throwing. Which I would not like. Do not kill this guy. I swear to fucking God. I will not be pleased if you fucking kill Ramon before he even gets his fight with Alon. I'm not having it. That ending, that doesn't bode well. That doesn't bode well at all. Ooh, I'm not rocking with that. That one's making me nervous there. Don't fucking do that. Well, other than that, I thought it was a pretty good chapter. This fight, quite solid. Good art, good choreography, and it was like 4 chapters. It was like 3.5, 4 chapters. Pretty good for what we get these days. So hopefully Ramon gets to go into his fight. That would be nice. And I'm hoping his fight with Alon, if he gets it, will be good. But with that, that's all I've got for this week's reaction. If you guys enjoyed, definitely be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I do Kengan Omega chapter reactions every week that we get a new chapter. So until next time, I'll see you guys around. Take care.